Welcome, I'm Ahabad, a free-to-play endgame player in Raid Shadow Legends. Today we're once again back on the Budget Faction War series, this time it's Orc 21, and this is probably going to be the last one in the series. The only faction remaining is High Elves, and Arbiter really hard carries that. Please do let me know if you want to see it nonetheless, but I think the value is somewhat limited given how strong Arbiter is within that faction. The issue with Orcs is that the majority of the epic list is very weak, with a few notable exceptions. Seer, Duk, Vrask and Tuhak are all excellent. The legendaries are very strong however, so most clears will involve using legendaries. Indeed, when I first cleared Orcs, I used Iron Brago and Kreela, who were both fusions or fragment champions at the time. I think Kreela was the first fragment champion and Brago was a traditional fusion, but don't quote me on that. I think it's that way around, but I can't really remember, to be honest. The other issue people usually face, and certainly I did, is if you don't have Vrask, then healing within the faction is extremely minimal, and you will need to find a way to survive. So when I cleared it, I actually geared all my champions in either regen or lifesteal. So in fact, I was rocking a lifesteal Seer to get the 3-star clear. Anyway, back on this particular clear, and if we look at the team composition we're going to be using, we have Zargala as the main DPS carry, we've got Vrask there for the healing, we have then 3 support champions. We've got Raider to give us some kind of decreased speed on an AoE basis with a little bit of kind of control that way and a single target stun. We've got Ultimate Gaelic, who also has some TM control, both single target and AoE, and can also bring us some damage via HP burn. And then we've got Jorg for increased attack, a TM fill, and a revive should we need it. I expect we probably will. I haven't actually tested to see whether we can do this with this composition. It is a DPS race on this boss, and we only have one recognized kind of built damage dealer in Zargala, who isn't even finished. We haven't got T6 masteries on Zargala. We haven't really got masteries at all on anyone else either. So in the end, we might have to do something. We might have to revisit this after we've farmed some masteries. Anyway, let's jump into the run and see how we get on. So we'll jump in, we'll boost our turn meter, just A1 with Vrask, get the old decreased defense out. I think here I'll just A2, increase the turn meter, get the AoE, just A1, get the kill, and that will also get the AoE out. Then we're through to the next wave. Yeah, I'll just A1. Just A1. I'll stun here, because that's the biggest damage threat. I'll boost attack and turn meter. It'd be nice if we can get the kill. There we go, get decreased attack out there. We should drop the turn meter. Should evil eye here to ensure that, and we got a stun, nice. There. Well, that hurt. Decrease defense out. Increase the turn meter. Stay 1. Evil eye. A1. Go for the kill. Here we can just A1 and get our skills off cooldown before we go through to the boss. Generally speaking, DPS races where you have 350s is not ideal. So, first thing to realise is that we can't buff because he'll steal our buffs. So we're not going to buff initially, and then obviously every 12 turns we have the debuff, the health swap. So initially we're just going to A1 a side add. We don't want to get HP burn back on ourselves, and we need to kill these side adds anyway. We'll just A1. And here I'll just stun one of these. Whoops, I actually meant to stun, but never mind. We've now got the decreased speed, which is not ideal. So you can see what goes wrong if you misclick. Now we can get the decreased defense out there. Now we'll get the HP burns out there. Now that's what I meant to do. Get the A1 stun off. Single target stun rather, on the A3. I'm exhausted today. I'm a bit concerned, to be honest, that this isn't going to work, but we'll see. I just don't think we've got enough survivability, to be honest. We're asking a lot from Vrask here. We're nearly through this first section. The first test. We don't want to buff now because we're going to have the buff exchange in a minute. Just make sure that we don't feed him with the increased attack or the decreased speed. Just keep whittling away this side ad. There's a lot of damage. Decrease defense out. Go for the increased attack on ourselves. And get the decreased speed out. Increase our attack. Go for the kill. Just focus fire for the boss. Nice to get the HP burn out before he takes a turn, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Every time this boss takes a turn, we get so much damage on us. I think we've got time, and we should have time just to reapply that. Hold off on that one. Didn't particularly want the HP burn. Damage-wise, we seem to be doing okay. It's really the survivability that's the problem. He's going to take our increased attack. It's not ideal. Raider's down. Didn't get... this increased attack is probably going to be the death of us, to be honest. Oof, so close. Decrease speed on. Or TM produce going. A1A on to increase our attack and get rid of it. Heal. I think we're going to get the health swap now. So we just need to A1, make sure we don't get any. We'll get rid of our own increased attacks before the swap comes. Hopefully Vrask gets another heal. Not ideal. Damage going. Need to get some heals out pretty quick. No decreased speed, that's annoying. Raider's down again. Ask, here we can do Crushing Hopes, get the turn meter down. Get Raider back up. Get some heals out. Oh, 2 turns, we've got enough time. Attack. Let's get a bit more damage out. Tell you what, either a leech or a decreased attack would be huge for us here. We don't want to put any more debuffs on him, and we don't want to buff ourselves anymore. Okay, we're back to a decent health level at least. We've got Mirror, now Gaelic's down. Hopefully we'll get the decreased speed this time. We did, that's good. Increase our attack. Go for some more damage. Now we just need to pick up Gaelic, which we will do now. Get a heal off from Vrask, and with the Veil, that should keep him healthy. Take another big hit, and get some more damage out. We've still got 7 turns, we should be alright, to be honest. 2 turns here, we probably don't want to increase our attack anymore. Unless we have a lot of space to do it, but I don't think it's worth it. Big damage out. A1 with Raider. Like I said, here we'll just A1 with Gaelic. Gaelic's extremely replaceable in this composition. He's really not doing a lot. I don't want to get any more. We're playing it very safe. I don't want to get any more buffs or debuffs in play, but hopefully. Actually, let's just go all out. I reckon we can get him down before he takes a turn. Drop the TM there with Gaelic. Bit of a risk, but I feel like we're going to get it done. Drop the TM again with Gaelic. And he's dead. There you go. 11 minute 21. A little bit of a risk at the end. Probably unnecessary. Zargala hard carrying us there, doing the majority of the work. Vrask, absolutely MVP of a kind of no legendary setup on Orc. When I first cleared Orcs, I didn't have Vrask, and I had to run everyone in either regen or lifesteal. But I was using some good champions and some good legendaries, and Seer as well. So, I didn't have the healing. I didn't necessarily have all the buffs and debuffs you wanted, but I had some very good champions, and therefore that allowed me to overcome, say, the compositional shortcomings I made up with having stronger champions and then just geared them appropriately to make it work. In this setup here, we've got a better composition. We've got some decreased speed and kind of crowd control from Raider. We've got a increased attack and revive from Jorg. We've got a bit of TM control, HP burn from Gaelic. We've got a lot of healing from Vrask. And we got decreased defense and kind of hard nuke coming from Zargala. So Zargala carrying the damage, Vrask carrying the healing, and everyone else as a support type champion. Let's have a quick look at how I've built them. So if we start with Vrask, 100% crit because that's required to get his heal off. Fairly quick, but not exemplary. Not like nothing like incredibly special. You know, you could run him in much faster in kind of speed sets, or you could put him in relentless. You know, there's other avenues you could take to build Vrask stronger as even more of a hard carry. And then obviously stacked as much HP as possible, which is important for his heal that he gets off. In terms of books, nothing is done. It's all really about cannibalism. So every time he crits, he gets 10% of his HP, healing everyone else. So I've got him with 80k HP, means he gets an 8k heal on everyone else. Masteries are not done. Zargala I've built in Savage with about 4k attack, 200% crit damage, obviously 100% crit, and enough accuracy to land the debuffs, and also built fairly quick as a debuffer if I had another kind of damage dealer following up after Zargala. Zargala would put out the AoE drop defense, and then, you know, you speed tune that way. And I used her in the Force Attack Secret Room, so that's partly why she's built a little bit quicker than my traditional kind of nukers would be built. The skills are done. And in terms of masteries, I'm heading down to Helm Smasher, but I haven't actually finished, so not a lot of masteries done so far, but enough to get the job done. Old Hermit Jorg is in a reasonably quick regen set, so 226, a little bit faster than Zargala, so he can get the increased attack out first. Not enough accuracy to consistently land his debuff, but I wasn't particularly worried about that. It wasn't a consideration of mine. In terms of the skills, the A1, the only thing that's kind of booked is the A2 and the A3. In terms of Ultimate Gaelic, enough accuracy to land his debuffs, 100% crit because that's required to get his TM control off, and then the rest is just a decent-ish speed and a little bit of effective HP, but not a lot, to be honest. The skills, the A1 is not done, the A2 is not done, but the A3 is fully booked, so all the books went into there. Having the A2 booked would be helpful just to get a shorter cooldown, but to be honest, he's just not that good a champion anymore. And I think he needs some kind of minor buff to make him more usable in today's kind of meta. He's really been just surpassed by people like Mordecai and Achak, and now a number of legendaries that can do AoE HP burn at 100%. You know, there's epics and legendaries that can do it without any contingencies. His is not 100% chance. 4 turns fine in terms of cooldown, but it's contingent. He needs to be under increased attack to get the HP burn off, and then it's still not 100%. It's only 50% chance. And then you've got this TM control that requires him to be under an HP burn, and it's still not 100%. So you've got multiple layers of contingency, and it's still not 100%, which is a bit ridiculous, to be honest. So hopefully they'll get around at some point to buffing him enough to make him usable, because at the moment he really isn't. And unsurprisingly, masteries are not done. Raider, same build that I use in the secret rooms, extremely low HP, because in the secret rooms the whole idea is she never gets hit. But I'd say to do this faction war clear, it would be better to build her with at least 30 to 35k HP, make her a little bit tankier, you know. maybe take her out of the crit rate gloves, give her HP gloves. would have been sensible. But we made it through. We showed that you can do it even with suboptimal builds. Raider has some masteries, just down to Evil Eye, really. In the long run, I'll probably go down to Fearsome Presence, but that will require her to be ranked up to 60 first, which currently has not happened. Now, if we jump out of there and we go to the index, the best epics for Faction War by far is Vrask, followed by Duk. Duk the Pierced, phenomenal for Faction Wars because you got decreased defense and decreased attack. And having that decreased attack against that final boss would have been huge. Like the amount of additional survivability we would have had by having decreased attack is enormous. You then also have a single target provoke, which can be handy, particularly through the waves. And then you also have this high chance provoke on 2 other random enemies. So you can effectively control, say, between 2 and 3 enemies each time you have this skill off cooldown, which is often enough, particularly if you pair it with some hard-hitting single target damage dealers who can take out, say, 1 of the enemies. You control 3 more through Duk, and then, say, Raider follows up by controlling 1 with a single target stun. Decrease accuracy is always quite nice as well. You can pick, the enemies that you don't want to land debuffs on you and apply this decrease accuracy. It's fairly handy. Jorg is strong because of the revive and the increased attack. Does help a lot with Faction Wars. Zargala, as we showed, can do a lot of damage and also brings decreased defense, which is nice. The A2 has also got some nice utility. What else? I mean, I really wouldn't recommend Shaman. I know that she has this single target revive, but she's bringing absolutely nothing else of interest. You could use this Dispelling Blow if the boss manages to steal a buff of yours, and yeah, I mean, you have that as an option, but it's not great. 2-hack, I think, is really very strong. You've got the decreased speed, big decreased speed on all enemies at 100%. He heals himself on that ability, but AoE decreased speed is really, really very good. And then here you've got a TM steal with a decent chance of stunning as well. It's a 2-turn stun as well. So like really strong single target CC that goes up to 100% when booked. I think 2-hack is really underrated. He also hits really hard. I would love to have kind of used him in a kind of Faction War showcase, but the only copy I've ever had of him I had to use in a fusion, and I've never pulled him since. So, I don't get to show that to you guys. We know Sandlash is a great champion, but unfortunately against the final boss, she is unusable unless you have Seer. And the reason she's unusable is the boss will steal this ally protection from you, and then you will kill your own Sandlash. So it just doesn't work. Not only do you then have to have a reviver to revive Sandlash, you just reduce the amount of damage you're doing against the boss, which doesn't work because it's a DPS race. So obviously if you have Seer, you can use Seer to strip off the buff straight after it's been stolen, and it becomes less of an issue. Other than that, the rest of them, they're not great. I can give a little shout out to Bloodfeather, who has this single target TM reduction and decreased speed with a single target decreased defense, and this sort of just general A1 that and all her abilities have an extra 20% chance of inflicting crit. So you only need to build it with 80% crit rate, and she can hit pretty hard and can be a bit of a boss killer. But I mean, she has no other use, anywhere in the game. So I really wouldn't recommend building her if you can get away with it. I think I've shown in this clear that you can do it fairly budget. In terms of the rares, they're also pretty disappointing. Obviously, I showed Raider, who is pretty good. I think works well for the secret rooms. You've got the single target CC on the A3. You have this 50% chance of a big decrease speed on the AoE basis, which is also pretty good, and then just an uninteresting A1. Beyond that, the only ones I can really mention that could have any use, as I said, Ironclad, if you put them in a stun set with Immortal, you then have a chance of stunning for wave clear, can be pretty good. I've used him in Force HP Secret Room as well the first time I cleared it, so he's not terrible by any stretch of the imagination. Could also do a decent amount of damage if you pair him with Vrask. You know, every time Vrask hits, surplus damage will be applied on the rest of the wave, so that can be quite a nice synergy between Ironclad and Vrask. And then the only other one I'll mention is Veteran, because of this A1 that you have, this ability to get a decrease attack. I don't particularly like increased crit rate, particularly, you know, it's a conditional one, doesn't really make any sense. You don't want to give it to the boss anyway, not that you would, because, you know, it's, oh, if the target's killed. Then, actually, to be honest, block buffs on an AoE basis is actually pretty interesting. That could be pretty good for certain stages on Faction Wars, and also quite nice for the boss. So I think Veteran has a outside shot of being pretty interesting as a option within this faction. And then obviously the legendaries, which most of them would feature in a faction war clear. If you had them, they're all pretty much all a step up from the epics and rares. It's, given the size of the Orc faction, is quite weak. In truth, it's quite weak in terms of the champions you actually have. Right, thanks for watching. I hope that has proven helpful to you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Any feedback is always welcome. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye for now.